Nope, nothing. Oh, headshot. A headshot knockback really is what that was. Hello everyone, my name is Adreden, and today we are going to be talking about clubs and melee. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so today I want to get into a good melee build. Not necessarily what the fun pimps want to build, because, well, we'll just quickly go into that. If we go into here, you know, that would be mostly just taking strength, but there is a couple of good things in fortitude as well. My playstyle is primarily melee, and it has been for about 2 years. When I go into building a melee character, this is basically how I do it. So we'll go into that. I'm mostly going to focus on clubs for this one because I enjoy fighting with clubs, though they're a little bit not as good in Alpha 18 as they used to be, which just takes a bit of getting used to. But there's also sledgehammers and, well, knuckles, I guess, if you want to, yeah. We'll go with that. Okay, so here's a bunch of the stuff that I figure is sort of useful for fighting melee, okay? So here you have your most basic thing, your club. We're just gonna get rid of that. What we have here is I just want to show you the difference here, because they changed it in Alpha 17. You wouldn't have a difference between this club and that club in terms of damage potential, but now you do. So this one here is 14, this one here is 20, because it's like a good quality 6. So sometimes even within the same level they can have slightly better or worse attributes. All of these are a bit randomized, so sometimes you might get a level 2 that's not as good as a level 1 club in terms of damage, but maybe the stamina cost is different, or maybe the amount of durability is different, right? So you just got to like look at what you have and see what works for you. So we're probably going to use this one because we want to put a bunch of mods onto that sucker and just kind of play around a little bit with them. So yeah, let's do this. I guess we'll go into crafting things, but maybe also bring in all these other particular weapons first, just have a quick chat about them, and then we'll go also into the other things. I haven't really played with them. Okay, so here we go. I rearranged a little bit here, just so this is a bit different. This is probably going to be one of your best friends, this particular series, and we'll talk about why in a little bit and go from there. So we also have, I guess, these ones here because they are technically clubs, so we'll talk about them a little bit too. So the next level after the wooden club, of course, is your iron reinforced club, which then is, you know, a bit better than that one. How you can tell is if you select this one here, and you know you have the little brown highlight around it, then you hover over another club, you can see the difference, right? So this one here, the red means that the one that you're hovering over is not as good, or green, like the little things in brackets, means the one you're currently looking at. So this one is a little bit better in stamina cost and attacks per minute, but that's okay. And then of course the baseball bats are just awesome, and this one's even more awesome. So again, you see the difference in the attributes of this particular weapon. And so yeah, eventually we'll switch to a baseball bat for like the end of this video because it's like the best. Okay, next, the stun baton is actually a really good weapon for melee, and it's an intelligence-based one, but it is really good, and so we'll probably end up using that a bit too. Next is the Candy Cane Club, and it is pretty good. It is sort of just a seasonal-esque weapon. It's kind of fun. Yeah, and once again, you can see the differences in the attributes. Okay, so we've talked about these guys a little bit. Everything can be made by schematics, or you can buy the various skills, except for the baseball bat. There's no way to buy the ability to make them. You have to find this Batter Up Volume 6. So once you find that, then you can craft your baseball bat. So that's where that awesomeness comes from. I'm not going to get into crafting things in this particular one too much. Just quick little mentions about things, like the stun baton requires stun baton parts, and baseball bat requires baseball parts. So that's pretty much that. I mean, I guess we could take a quick look at bat, and yeah, it looks like you need to unlock it with this. This just talks about it prepared with a repair kit, like everything. And it just uses this. For some reason it uses forged steel. I don't know why. I think Fun Pimps just mostly use steel as like a level gate. In a way, you know, it's just like, hey, if you can do, or well, I guess you can find it around the world too and get it. And the stun baton is sort of the same deal, except that it's a little bit different. It's a little cheaper, I guess. Forged iron. Okay, anyhow, moving on. You can't make these ones, unfortunately. You can't just get like corn syrup and some red dye and make candy cane clubs. Maybe someone will mod that in, but no, not right now. So you can just find these around the world sometimes. We can also have a lot of different mods we can add to these things, and they almost all come with various schematics. Level 7 is where you unlock the chain modification for bats and clubs. From here, we'll just take a quick look at what we have. If we were to mod, say, the wooden club, you can see that all of these are available to it. So, I mean, I only grabbed 2 dyes, but of course you can have whatever dye color you want. So there you go. You know, some of my favorites are always metal spikes, which I believe, yeah, you can put on there now. How does that look? Does that instantaneously turn this one into a spiked club, or do you... So putting on the spiked club mod doesn't actually turn this into a spiked club. Just unfortunate. In my mod, I actually extracted the spikes from the 3D model and made it so that you could do that, but maybe the Fun Pimps will do that at some point. And so anyway, let's talk more about the actual bits in the inside of these things. This particular one here, the spiked club mod, actually reduces the armor rating of a various set of these zombies. So like the biker and the military zombies all have armor, and when you end up putting these on, you end up slowly reducing their armor so that you can fight them a lot better. This one will end up knocking your foes down a lot more quickly. This one will cause them to bleed a lot more if you're using power attacks with big swings and cause them to bleed. The burning, of course, is, you know, it's like a torch and can light them on fire. And so that's pretty nice. This makes the durability of the particular weapon go up. And the ergonomic grip is a little bit better for making stamina work a little bit better. Increases the weapon handling of bows, but we don't really care about that at this point. We'll get into those another time, another video. And this one is always when like you're a little bit wounded. It's kind of nice to have this, so you're always at like, you know, a little bit better at low level health fighting. So anyhow, let's add a couple of these. I don't really think it's necessary to add too many things here. I'm curious though if this one can actually take the fire one, because okay, it can. So there's also tags to make sure that these things don't go on every particular type of weapon. And so I'm just kind of curious if these all go on these. Yes, they do. Baseball bat, modify. Yep, those all do. And modify. Yes, sir. So somehow you can have a spiked candy cane. I doubt that the models will reflect that, but you never know. Let's throw this on there. Maybe they'll fix that. It takes a couple days to fix, so just get someone on it, right? Anyhow, let's do this. Complete. Let's take a look at that one real quick. Nope, no spikes hanging out of it. Okay, no worries. Well, I don't really want to use this one anyway, so we'll pull those spikes out. Okay, so what I'm going to use, I'm just going to go straight to baseball bat here, and maybe I'll keep the stun baton as well. Yeah, I think in fact what I'm going to do for my playstyle, good melee thing, might be to put the fortified grip on it. That way it is nice and smashy and gives you a little bit of protection against them when they're maybe gonna, you know, get you when you're low health. I don't know. It's because you can stun them, right? So it helps. And I might put the burning shaft on there as well, because I think that would be kind of good. And I think I'm just gonna I'm just gonna complete that one for now. It's not a big deal. Then I'm gonna take the baseball bat here, and we're gonna modify that one up a lot more. We could go Negan style, but I think I much prefer reducing their armor. It's sort of a much, I don't know, much more something that I like. Might actually get another burning mod and put out on there too, because we're doing sort of an ultimate build, right? So that you modify, and we'll throw this on here. Okay, great. And I'm going to get rid of some of these ones that I don't actually want anymore. And then we're going to talk about skills, and then we'll go into the actual books here, because it's a whole gigantic thing. Okay, I'm probably going to come back in the morning of day 3. Good morning, guys. It is definitely good to start your day off with something good. Bam, there we go. Nice little smoothie for you. Okay, so we're back over here. I mean, it's a little dark right now, but it's going to brighten up by the time we're done this. Okay, so yeah, we also have these sets of weapons here. We have the sledgehammers, which primitive ones can be built pretty early on. Then you need to find schematics or buy stuff to get the ability to make these ones later on. And then the knuckles are for fist fighting, which is pretty cool too, in its own way. But the zombies are definitely tricky, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We'll talk about armor in a bit too. Okay guys, so I've given myself a few more levels just because I think I'm going to need them to buy all the things that I would buy for a good melee build. And so the main attributes that I would worry about for this particular build are strength and fortitude, which isn't quite what TFP has in mind, but you know, I feel like they're kind of necessary so far. This is probably the least needed. The parkour is nice, but it's not like needed for this one. And then we can go into some of these fortitude ones, but the primary one you need is the strength. So of course, every time you add some strength, you deal a little bit more damage. 10, 15, you know, keeps going up by 5, and then you have different chances of dealing headshot damage with the clubs, sledgehammers, and such like that. Interesting, it also governs the shotgun. Okay, cool. I mean, it makes sense just the way they've laid it out. And so headshot damage keeps going up by a bit. And yeah, so anyhow, buying strength is great. Then for my build, because I'm doing basically clubs, I'm going to want to do all of these ones here, because these ones here add about like 10% more damage for regular attacks, and power attacks do 40% more damage. You have a 60% chance for power attack to knock foes back. And then it unlocks some of these club recipes as well, so if you're going down this path, you can definitely craft those things up as well. So that's good. Up to like 200% more damage on stunned enemies. 100% chance for a power attack to knock foes back. 3 successive shots and a hit causes the last blow to do 100 damage. So yeah, that's a great one once you get up there. Skull Crusher is sort of similar, I think, but with the sledgehammer. So if you're a sledgehammer user, you go for those ones. Sexual Tyrannosaurus is all about just being able to swing the club more often in terms of stamina. It's not attack speed, it's just stamina. And so yeah, it makes it a lot easier to mine and fight. So it's one of my best ones as well. So we'll buy those up all in a second here. Fortitude, of course, like if you're taking hits because you're getting in close, ideally you don't take hits, but sometimes it just happens. The zombies fight a little bit different now. They swing earlier, and they also rage mode. So fighting them is a little bit different than before. But, you know, each one of these just increases your various, I mean, in terms of for what I want for melee. Okay, so we also have a fortitude. Buying fortitude itself actually doesn't really help you much. Every time you gain a level, you gain a little bit of health and stamina. So me being level like 21, I think it is, 23, I've gained a bunch over here. So that is doesn't really help you with that per se, but of course, yeah, if you're going to do the fists, of course, getting the brawler is what you're going to need there. But I would say pain tolerance and healing factor are very important for this particular build as well. Cardio can be good if you're trying to outrun a bunch of angry raging zombies, so maybe. All right, so those are my primary ones, and then of course parkour is always nice, but that's it's not as much for this particular build. So let's just move on to these other skills here. So batter up, this is their main extra melee one here, and it's probably easier to see actually in this particular knowledge set here. Here it is. So with this one here, you do 10% extra damage with clubs, craft baseball hats and stuff, which lets you take less damage. You know, I haven't actually tested all these various forms of this. Like, there's the fireman one, there's a bunch of other ones that have various things that allow you to change how much damage you have by having different things you wear, and I don't know how that compares to actually wearing armor. So maybe that's we'll go into that video another time, but not right now. Power attacks against enemies slow them down. Power attacks increase the chance of knockdown. Bats and clubs degrade 20% slower. You can craft the baseball bat. That's the one I showed earlier. Level 7 is where you unlock the chain modification for bats and clubs. And power attacks that kill your enemy refill your stamina bar. That's kind of the most incredible one. I don't know scientifically how that works, but sure, why not? I was also going to suggest maybe this one as well. I mean, like, you know, it's if you're getting attacked by wolves, cougars, mountain lions, vultures, that's kind of incredible to be able to do that. Sure, you can fight a bear, why not? And deer, yeah, why not? And urban combat, there's two of them that are actually pretty cool. There's Adrenaline Rush, which use the Adrenaline Rush of combat to energize your body. Armor doesn't slow you down when in combat, which is freaking amazing. Well, like I said, we're going to talk about armor in a couple minutes because it's sort of important. I don't exactly know how that works yet, but we're going to do it. Room clearing. Take one room at a time, conquer urban buildings, 5% less damage, and deal 5% more damage while indoors. Now I'm guessing this is tag based on the weapons, but we'll see. It's an interesting perk that I'm going to have to look at a little bit more later. All right, so let's buy a bunch of stuff and start fighting things. We're just gonna use one of each of these. Now, of course, in the world, you're just gonna have to find these, so you never know if you're gonna be able to build such a thing. And I've unlocked the other perk. Great. Okay, so now when we go over to here, we see that the Huntsman Journal is fully unlocked. So it's not like we need all this, but I mean, if you're going to be doing melee, doing extra damage is not a bad thing. I'm going to go into doing sneak stuff later. It's not, that's why I'm excluding the Night Stalker stuff right now. Yeah, batter up is also fully there. That's great. So now I'm going to go into my just normal skills here and buy what I need for this, because each one of these is unlocked like strength level 10. So you have to spec into that 100% to do that. So if you were to go just straight strength for this one, yeah, you would need about 23 or 25 skill points, I guess it was. I'm just gonna have to get a few more because I would also like to have lots of pain tolerance and healing and even maybe some cardio. So give me a couple seconds. So after I finish buying these, I'll just go and find out what level needed to be here, because pretty high now. Level 56 is the moment, but I'm guessing you probably won't quite need level 56 to get to this build, but we'll see. And I would just, you know, when you're going through it, just buy like a little bit at a time, right? Pretty much what you're going to have to do. But I would say pretty early get healing factor, because it really helps a lot. It's one of probably my favorite ones overall. A little bit of pain tolerance is also good to start off with, because getting stunned by zombies could be fatal. You don't know when they're gonna smash you to death. So that's basically that. We could buy these just so we can run those bases, you know? really quick, as it were. I mean, if you're a baseball player, why not, right? So that is basically should make us a super brawler, and that'll be good times. Let's bring some of these along with us, and maybe we'll use these in a bit. Now, I'm not going to upgrade any of those, but I just want to maybe do a quick little bit at the end. Okay, and of course there's I guess other foods and stuff. I didn't really consider foods. Oh, and armor. We have to go over armor a little bit too, just a little bit. And so yeah, we should also be having no penalty from them too, which would be pretty sweet. But I'm not quite sure how that works. So, there's probably some foods I know, like Mega Crush is a drink. Might grab some of those for later. Okay, so what I've set up here now is basically coffee, because that gives you extra stamina, like a boost while it's working, so that's awesome. Beer is also extra stamina. It's more for like fist fighting, but you know, it's pretty good for just yeah, fighting in general. Though it does make your vision a little blurry, so if you're not used to having blurry vision, then it's not really good for you. And Mega Crush, it's got electrolytes. So stamina regen 50%, run speed 50, and yeah, it just allows you to fight a little bit better. Right, that was the other thing about beer. And now they finally introduced the stun resistance. So thank goodness. It's just like, that really helps you fight on a Horde Knight if you're just doing a pure melee build. Which is great for me. I love it. Yeah, so that's basically that. Coffee doesn't really give you much all. Let's find some enemies to kill. Take off God mode. And we'll go smash some heads. Bandages are important. Let's probably just go right into this building because, you know, there's stuff in there. I haven't really cleared it. I've mostly been hanging out in this field, and they just are sleeping in there because they're just tired little fans. I'll probably also need like an axe or something for this particular thing too, but we're gonna go do something like that. Okay, so anyhow, I'm sure you've all played a bit of Alpha 18, or you've watched some people play it. Locked. Yeah, so I'm gonna need a pick and a club. So, but anyhow, medicines and stuff for a good fight are bandages just to stop immediate bleeding. Oh wait, and the first aid kit to help with that a little bit. And there's also, you could do aloe cream if you're in the desert. But we should also talk about armor. Sorry, I missed that. I noticed that Goth boots have a little bit of armor rating, but they have no mobility penalty. So early game, those are actually really good for a build like this. Cloth armor I almost immediately go to because it has no movement penalties, and I am a sort of fast fighter, not a fighter that is like a knight, essentially, what this is, because you have -6 mobility, which is pretty bad overall. I'm going to bring this with me because I'm curious. Probably end up wearing these. Out of all the helmets and stuff, of course, yeah, military stuff is like a light armor, so wearing that is also pretty good. It has a small mobility penalty of 4, which isn't bad, which is about the same as, yeah, the light armor for this stuff here, the leather stuff. This stuff goes to 6, and this was once again 6, so the heavy armor is a lot more encumbering. But I'm kind of curious about just wearing this and seeing how that goes. Of course, this stuff is great. Mining helmet is good. Small penalty, but you get to see in the dark. Firefighter's helmet is also good, and adds a little bit of heat resistance. So I guess if you're in the desert, that's a good one to have. Better than this one. And if you're in the burnt biome and such. So yeah, potential's there. Football helmet is also good. SWAT helmet is also pretty good. A little bit of a movement penalty. 4. So guess this is, yeah, heavy armor, but it's yeah, done like that. So anyhow, lots of options there. Just know that depending on what your fighting style is, you either move a lot slower or not. So let's wear some of this stuff here, because I am awfully curious about that. Okay, so that's basically that. All right, so like I said, let's just go test this out a little bit here. Yeah, see, I'm actually running and moving pretty slow. Like, I feel like this is pretty slow here. Let's actually just do a quick count here. I'm not going to do it like with a countdown timer or anything, but 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. So we get to about this one. at 6, so that's right at the door there. Let's just switch over to like the cloth armor. Okay, so 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. So we make it almost, I don't know, an extra 10 meters in that time. And that is with, I guess, these, without buying any sort of skills, because there are skills, once again, if you're new to the game, there are skills specifically for armor. So you have like heavy armor here. So light armor is over in agility, which I guess is another reason to buy a little bit of that. Now, I guess we have like a couple points. Don't really need some of these. Okay, so this will be a good one for our Night Stalker build. But this would help us a little bit with that. Just, you know, think about that in terms of what your build is. Armor is important because it reduces the chance for you to bleed. And bleeding happens fairly regularly with fighting zombies, which is why I also have the bandages. So, there's one. Let's just test out the baseball bat, shall we? Oh, doesn't that look nice? It's like a nice flaming one. Is she gonna rage at us? Okay, that was just a light swing too, by the way. Boom. That's actually really easy to fight them. I mean, it should be. I'm fully spec'd up into that level like 56 character, so it is just going to be pretty simple. Hello! And smashing things with this baseball bat is pretty good. That was an interesting screechy sound. Okay then. Well, hard swing. Oh! You just... I was gonna swing at his head. I was curious to see what that did. Whoa, there's another one. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, so pretty positive. Pretty happy about this. That's unlocked. Okay. And whap! One hit kills. That's perfect. I want to use the taser baton real quick just to show you some of the differences. It's probably not going to be as useful now as it was early game though. Early game, it's pretty useful because of the fact that it does stun them every 4th hit. So that is incredibly useful. Don't worry, I'll help you out, man. Okay, so we'll just get him ready to fight here. Alright, so just a light hit on fire, but the main thing you want to do is, well, we're gonna have to maybe take off some of these mods on this one, but so obviously a few more hits. Let's just summon some guys in instead. It's way easier than just waiting for them to show up. My favorite, Arlene, where are you, dear? Arlene! Alright, here's a bunch of Arlenes. They're pretty weak though, so we're probably actually going to have to get something else. But there's a shock, and that, if you were fighting a single one at a time, definitely makes it much nicer because instead of rage mode, they end up just getting shocked, and then you can recharge it up and shock them again, and it allows you just to keep on fighting. So that, see, because right now she's hitting me and I just can't do much about it. Burning mod works really well, better than a torch actually, it seems, which is kind of cool. Oh no, infectinated. That's a whole other thing. We'll go into infections another video here. Stop it. But the combination between this armor and the healing factor makes you pretty much unstoppable, it would appear. Yeah. So at level 56, if you got all those things, you'd be a very powerful character, which is pretty good. Though that's against low-level Arlenes, so let's do something a lot trickier here. And we'll maybe even switch over to the baseball bat, because I think that's a little bit clearer. And I'm also going to take off the fire mod, because I don't really... It's kind of nice to have, but on the other hand, it is really bright and kind of tricky to see through. So, feral white. Actually don't know if I want feral whites, but maybe just whites. Okay, so here's 2 whites. We're already pretty much healed back up. Gonna have to get some medication. Okay, light hits. Whoa, headshot. Okay, that's pretty awesome, pretty easy. So this is one of the problems with fighting the melee stuff, is that you have a very high chance of getting infected because you are so close. So I don't know. It's I don't know yet if it's really worth it. Ask me again at the end of Alpha 18 and I'll give you a better answer, but it still is feasible, and they've made it well, they made it easier once you start perking up. Okay, let's fight 25 of them. Let's see what this is like. Some headshots maybe with some heavy swings. Oh man. I suspect this is not going to go well for me. But this is why we have some of that cardio. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's stop that bleed. Maybe use a bit of a painkiller here. Yeah. These guys are pretty fast, pretty angry. Okay. Gonna go back into the sun so we have some good light to film in for you guys. Oh! Knockback. Nope, nothing. Oh, headshot. The headshot and knockback really is what that was. So, this is totally feasible once you're at this level. It's kind of crazy. Now if these guys were radiated, that would be a whole other deal. Ugh. There's pretty much no way to fight these guys like that. I'm gonna need to get... Maybe let's use a first aid kit, because it also stops bleeding, yeah? Yeah. But it does not really help me in the short term here. And then we'll just do this real quick here. So I wouldn't really recommend fighting a whole ton of them. Woo! I guess I'm ready to knock someone down here. And... Bam! Alright guys, there you go. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any suggestions for this video, I might make a different version of it. Once I learn a little bit more, or if people give me interesting, tidbits of information. But I think that was a pretty thorough review of, like, everything to do with this particular build. So, what I think I'm going to do is head back in here and forget my troubles for the day. So, I think that'll be the way to go. I'll just throw everything back in these. I suppose I did promise that we would do some stuff with these particular weapons too, so don't need 25. We'll just do like 2 of these guys. Just see how this goes at this level, because the swing speed on these is really slow, but if you can nail these guys... Wow. So a couple of shots from them. That's not too bad. I'll do some hard swings. Ooh. I'm still not sold on the sledgehammer myself. It's more of a, run and dodge and kind of plan your attacks kind of weapon. Pretty good, I guess. I'm really curious about these guys, though. But I have not spec'd into them for this video. It's just kind of a little bonus here. Because I did say that we were going to do a bit of that. So this is hard punches. With not perfect fortitude or anything. Not perfect skills. Yeah, not bad. But we're still not done. The club, when you're fully spec'd into it, is awesome. Cool. Alright. Ooh, it's been a rough day, so it's time to forget all of our troubles here. So, right now we're level 56. We've got various forms of knowledge over here, but we drink this. Just in case you didn't know, I did a small video on resetting your skill points And so that's that. And this one does not do levels, it just does all these levels for your skills. So there you go. Anyhow, what was I up to? Oh yes, I think we're gonna get to knives and stealth now. Anyways, I will see you guys in that video or some other video. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button and share with some friends. If you are new to the channel and really want to support it, hit the subscribe button and you can learn a lot more about 7 Days to Die. Okay, until the next video, I will see you guys later. Bye bye.